Hello, dear partners of LeCake Train. Here is the second video dealing with the presentation of the project. This second video is dedicated to the young ambassadors. The young ambassadors is a key element of this cake project, and it's really new for us as coordinator, and I presume also for you as a partner of the project. It's really an experience we want to develop through this cake program, and for sure it will take some time to really have a kind of model and stable program and activity for this young ambassador project within the cake project. But here is the kind of description we can make today in order to open up this pace, to open up this approach of having and hosting young volunteers, young collaborators, young interns. We will see how we call them all along this presentation. So, you remember the ecosystem of LeCake that is made of artistic partners, mainly the Shift project, the think tank, and the young ambassadors. So, who are they? Who are those young ambassadors working, as you remember, with the partnership of 8 organizations and this circle also of associated partners. So, here I'm gonna try to describe you a kind of ideal model, but of course adjustments regarding the reality of every partner, the context, also national context, local context of every partner will have influence on this program. So again, let's move little by little, and let's try to see all the aspects of these young ambassadors. The idea is that they work internally into the every partner's workflow, and they also give part of their time to the development of the cake activities. Okay. The idea is that also, as much as possible, they are hired back by LeCake Train members organization using some programs that helps to fund their trips, their participation, their accommodation, etc. So we have different programs, and I will go deeper about those programs in the next slides. First, let's consider the young ambassadors hosted by every partner. Ideally, 2 young European will be hosted in each partner structure. Okay, 2 per structure. One could be a local young person, okay, and one could be a participant, a volunteer from another country, likely to be part of the list of the partners country. So, for example, a Greek hosting partner could have 2 ambassadors, one from Athens, a local volunteer, and one from, for example, Germany or France or Italy or Portugal or Hungary, one of the other countries that are partners to the project. What is their mission? Their missions is to participate in the implementation of LeCake Train activities, okay, on the local level. Their second mission is to practice the activities of the host partner. So every ambassador is also involved into the flow of activities of the hosting partner in order to also understand what is the core activity of the local partner. And in their missions, they will have to contribute also to the relationship between the hosting partner where they work and the LeCake Train partners. So they are also key people to connect the partner to all the activities of LeCake Train in progress. And of course, through all this experience, they will also learn about green issues and then have a capacity to pass on this knowledge. So at the end of their mission, they get a kind of higher level of capacity regarding developing cultural projects that has a sustainable dimension in Europe. So just for you to see this the engine of this partnership. So we have all of you, the partners, 8 partners of the project, including Transplanisphere. But Transplanisphere has also a kind of position of coordinator with what we call the LeCake Bureau, the LeCake leading office, I would say, to coordinate the activities of the young ambassadors. So you as a partner, you are in relation with the LeCake Bureau, with your young ambassadors, but the young ambassador you host also have a relation with the LeCake Bureau, based on digital exchange every week and a program shared every week. So this is the triangle of connections between the different stakeholders of this program. So who are the young ambassadors? So again, it's really an estimation of how the program may work. So nothing here is definitive. It's just tracks to imagine what is this young ambassador corps made of. So you remember that every partner is likely to have 2 young ambassadors. The idea of this duo also is that it's easier when you work with them, so they can support each other, they can connect each other on daily basis. Especially, for example, if as a hosting organization you don't have so much time to dedicate to them. So if they have a duo, they can also work together as a tandem, as a duo. So the pretty logical starting point is that you hire them, especially for the LeCake project. But it's also possible that you consider that somebody that is already working in your company, like an intern or a volunteer, a young professional, whatever, this person also can be this young ambassador within your organization, especially, of course, if this person can make herself or himself available for the project. So there's this option of somebody already member of your organization that could join the LeCake Ambassadors network. Ideally, this person have to have interest in ecology and sustainability for sure, for also culture, arts, cooperation. Okay, this pretty logic. It's important also that you have a certain availability to collaborate with this person on daily basis, and this person will collaborate also with the other members of this network of young ambassadors on daily basis. So it's important that this person have a certain level of English, or also a certain familiarity with the digital tools like Zoom and Drive and all those collaborative tools that will be required to run the project. And again, as we said before, ideally 2 young ambassadors work together, one that has a local background and another one that is traveling to the partner location to work with this partner for the project. If we change the point of view and if we look from your point of view as a hosting partner, indicative elements here. Ideally, it's important that when you host young ambassadors, you are able to provide them an office, so they have a kind of base camp on daily basis. It's also possible that you provide a computer and an internet connection to the young ambassador, so he can be connected to the other members. Again, for this computer issue, it depends also on many cases, because many occasions people have already a computer, but okay, have it in mind that it's maybe better to provide a computer. As the LeCake Train is a 2-year duration project, you are likely to have several young ambassadors rolling over time. Okay, so it's not only about finding 2 people for the 2 years of the project, because most of the time they will stay only from 3 to 6 months. It depends on many elements of the context. So we think about young ambassadors that possibly overlap on other missions of other young ambassadors, and we will have to, as much as possible, to synchronize the work of the different ambassadors to make it as much as possible smooth. What would be ideal if you have, for example, a local young ambassador volunteering, for example, through a citizen volunteer program. Ideally, it would be great that this local person become after a volunteer in another organization in Europe. So this person, through a mission of 6 to 12 months, really gain a great experience locally and internationally. So he can really, or she can really learn a lot and really valorize then this experience in her or his future jobs or missions. So this is a kind of typical week at LeCake Train. Again, it's just provisional. We have to work on it, but ideally a volunteer, a young ambassador, could be working for your organization from 1 to 2 days per week, and working also for LeCake from 1 to 2 days per week. And ideally, if we succeed in developing LeCake Lab, this person could also be dedicated to LeCake Lab activities. So again, this is estimative because there are cases of full-time volunteers. There are also cases of part-time volunteers. So we will have to adjust it. But the idea is really like every week there are meetings of all the young ambassadors together. And if every partner has 2 young ambassadors, we will have a maximum of 16 young ambassadors working together at a time, and possibly gathering every week online to discuss, and also gathering for the live workshops 2 times a year, depending on the agenda of a volunteer. So every volunteer, every young ambassador has potentially a chance to travel 1 time in the partnership to participate to a live workshop. Talking about the funds for young ambassadors. So what is important to have in mind is that the LeCake Train budget doesn't include funds for young ambassadors. We made it on purpose. We have funds to manage the young ambassadors from the hosting point of view, hosting organization point of view, but there is no dedicated budget for them within the LeCake Train budget. This is why we need to have them, we need to think about other fundings. So this is really in relation to your local context. As I don't know exactly your local context, and I suppose you know it pretty well, we will have to dialogue on it. But the first option, for example, from France would be to use what we call the service civic, civil service volunteers that benefit from funding given by the organization that is funded to give like pocket money to the volunteer. So we have this status in France for local volunteers, but also for European volunteers. So it's possible to send people in civil services in another country. So it can be an option if you are from another country, like from Greece or from Hungary or Portugal, Italy or Germany, to host a French volunteer through this program. I don't know if you have a similar program in your country. This will have to be examined and examined and established. Second option is the program called Erasmus Young Entrepreneur. We are pretty familiar now to this program because we hosted 2 people through this program this year. What is interesting here is that it's pretty quick application program. There are no deadline. It's all along the year. You can apply for it and get some fundings. Actually, the fundings goes to the young entrepreneur, like a support for the trip expenses on daily basis, etc. So here, to make this available, you have to apply for this Erasmus Plus Young Entrepreneur funding, but we know how to do it, so we can give you all the documents that are necessary to apply, and it's not so complicated. Another option can be the European Solidarity Corps. It's a very good option, but for this option we need to apply, and the next call is only in February 23. So we have to prepare it from now if we want to have a chance to use it next year. But it's a very good program for the second year of LeCake Train and maybe the first year of LeCake Lab. We'll see. So it's something also good to search on. And of course there are other ways. You can have an intern dedicated to the project, you can have a volunteer, or you can have also specific support like OFAGE, DFGW, that is a French-German funding for volunteering also, so we can use it between Germany and France. I don't know if there are other programs like this, but I suppose between Greece and Germany there is a program like this. So this case-by-case program can be also useful. So again, here it's really about sharing on this and examining the different options you have, the options offered by programs you already know and by programs you don't know. And through all this, we have a good chance to have young ambassadors in every hosting organization. For sure, it will be difficult to have young ambassadors, especially if you have to look for them starting in November. So I hope that some of you already have an idea, or maybe already have an intern or someone that could be these young ambassadors. If you don't, it means that we will have to look for this option and discuss it to make it possible. One last thing to mention here, I didn't make a specific slide here, but in order to start the project, we organized in Paris, in partnership with Sciences Po School, political science school, that is a pretty prestigious university in Paris. we organized a project with students of master degree that comes from Italy, Austria, Hungary, and so they have already European background, and they started last month. They started to work on the project. So in a way, if we need a little time to implement the young ambassadors within every partner's organization, we already have a kind of group of young ambassadors established in Paris, but that are not French at all, that are Europeans, and that will contribute to the project from now until April 23. They will contribute by helping every partner to design the methods. So it's also a way to start with this kind of support of young ambassadors from Sciences Po before having your own young ambassadors within your organizations. I hope it's clear. I will tell you more about it during the questions and answers sessions. All right? So the idea is that after the kickoff, we start working in the direction of creating this young ambassador corps. So partner by partner, we will analyze your situation, your context, what you can do, and we will find the best plans to trigger this action of younger ambassador within your organization. And from now to April 23, we will have the development. As you remember in the first video I told you, we'll have the development of the first methods dealing with the ecological transition standards. And so with the support of the Sciences Po group, we are working on this, and I hope that pretty soon within your organizations you will also have young ambassadors that will join this effort. And so the first key moment for young ambassadors will be this live workshop in Italy, where they shall be all gathered. Or actually the existing group at this very moment would be gathered ideally. Okay? And I hope that for the second cycle of activities, every partner in 6 months, every partners will have their young ambassadors at work within their organization, depending again on the local context. Thank you so much for this, for listening this video. I hope it was not too long. And again, it's really the beginning. So think about your questions. Think about your local context. Think about if you, for example, already have people within your organization that could become young ambassadors, or if you have not, who could join you locally and discuss with us how to allow people from the partnership to come to your country and visit you. And for example, as a coordinator from France, we will really push this to send French volunteers in your organizations to work as young ambassadors, for sure. But I'm sure that, yeah, through discussion and the question and answers and brainstorming, we will find the best way to organize all this. Thank you so much for listening me, and I'll see you in the next video dealing with the budget. Goodbye.